Bon dia, Cules, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Cule Show, and hopefully of many. I'm your host, Chris Isek, and let's talk football. How many tackles can a man take? Here we shed some light on some of the horrible incidents that happened to Lionel Messi. We also Felipe Luis' criminal tackle on Messi, and how Lucio turned into a Super Saiyan for a minute. Unfortunately, that is not the first time that things like this happens to Lionel Messi. He had to go through stuff like this earlier in his career. First off, 2006, FC Barcelona faced Chelsea in the Champions League semi-final. You can just sense that something horrible is coming as soon as you mention Chelsea. Anyways, it was one of Messi's early matches where he really had shown, and sadly it wasn't that very much where Messi's career could have ended permanently. Thanks to Del Horno's horrible tackle, Messi had to see the Champions League final from the sideline. Spoiler alert, we went to win that Champions League final. Suck on that, Chelsea. Number 2. 3 years later, Atletico Bilbao's Amor Beita wanted to show his new shoes to Messi in an incident that can be described as somewhat coincidental. Leo was rushing to the ball as Amor Beita was trying to clear it, which resulted in a painful introduction. It's hard enough to play at the San Mamés, let alone getting a boot in your face. Thankfully, Leo walked away with only a small bruise under his eyes. Number 3. For the third incident, it's time to talk about that game. Yep, that game. Which one, you ask? The Manita El Clásico, of course. It was the first time rape was aired live on TV worldwide. Heated moments, let's say, are always expected in such kind of matches. But in this one, Ramos decided to step it up a notch. 5 goals later, he was one-on-one with Leo. Naturally, Leo passed him like he wasn't there. At this moment, Ramos was like, fuck it, that midget is going down. So he rushed toward his target and started to kick him. And this went on to him pushing his idol and leading to the biggest fight in El Clásico history. That tackle was so horrible that even Ray Hudson said he deserved 2 red cards for it. And we are back at Atleti. Man, that didn't take long. The game was in its final seconds. It seemed like Leo would survive to the final whistle. But at last, Ujlafuzi had other ideas. His ill-timed challenge left La Pluga rolling in agony. The ref did not hesitate to show the Czech player a straight red. Next time, he better be in check. Those were only some things that Leo experienced. We are just happy to see you, Leo, still kicking ass. We hope that you continue to do so for many more years, injury-free. Segment 2, Nolito. The Nolito saga finally came to an end after the shutdown of the winter transfer window. But before that happened, we had to endure the countless rumors that linked him to Barcelona. And in the end, nothing happened. Why didn't it? Was it because they couldn't reach an agreement? Or Nolito himself rejecting the idea of returning home? His injury? Nope, none of that. Barca couldn't afford him in the first place, and thus no approaches were made. President Bartomeu claimed that Barca made 600 million euros in profit. 550 millions were spent on expenses, leaving only 50 million euros for a summer transfer window. And with those 50 million euros, Bartomeu intended to sign 2 midfielders, including Pogba, a center back, a fullback, and build a new stadium. Does Bartomeu think he's playing Ultimate Team or something? If you haven't figured it out yet, we are in a financial crisis. And things will only get worse since the club is run by incompetent people. FC Barcelona might even play the next season without a shirt sponsor. Why? Because it's noble? Because the fans want that? No, it's because FC Barcelona is currently the best football club in the world, and this board can't even manage to get a proper sponsor. Problems never stop popping up with this board. I don't know how Sosis trusted Bartomeu to run this club. It's like trusting Tiger Woods with the Playboy Mansion, or Benzema with your sex tape, or Florentino Perez keeping you as the coach for Real Madrid more than 1 season, or you get it. Segment 3, and it rhymes with trust nobody. Well, this is what you shouldn't do when it comes to the Neymar renewal saga. Of course, we can't talk about this board's failures without mentioning the Neymar renewal. The case keeps dragging on and 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 on. The worst thing about this is if Neymar ever leaves, it will be because of this case, and there's no one else to blame but this board. We all know there's a mysterious person, Florentino Perez, that keeps bidding for Neymar, who has been trying to lure the Brazilian to his club. It's funny how they keep trying to sign players when their biggest problem is their fax machine. Of course, offering just cash won't be enough for Neymar to leave. We all know you must include an orgy in the offer to get him over. Yep, he's basically 1 orgy away from Real Madrid. But fear not, it was revealed by the journalist Jordi Borda that an offer was rejected by Neymar and he wants to renew with FC Barcelona. As Shakespeare once said, then renew already, you twat. The last FC Barcelona segment for today is the Messi kid. One of the most heartwarming story of the year in sports so far. The Messi kid. All what we had was a picture, a simple picture of an unknown kid. The kid was wearing a makeshift jersey out of a plastic bag. The story spread on the internet like wildfire, and it didn't take long until it reached the GOAT himself. Messi asked to find the mystery child. It didn't take long for a couple of journalists to find this kid. It turned out to be an Iraqi boy named Hamin, which later turned out it wasn't actually him. Man, this is like Steve Harvey with the beauty pageant all over again. Anyways, the real kid was found. His name is Murtaza Ahmadi. And the story with the plastic kid, as Murtaza's older brother Humayun explains, Murtaza found a plastic bag and he ran towards me and asked me to make a football jersey out of it. We can't even imagine buying an original Messi jersey for him. We can't afford it. So to make my brother happy, I made a football jersey out of the plastic bag for him. Murtaza is set to Mete Zero on the second leg of the Copa del Rey. That tie is so finished, like he could even go in and play as striker for them. The whole story goes to show that football is a universal language and that it has no boundaries. Now some international news before we wrap up the first episode of the Cule Show. Let's start with another love story involving football player Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo traveled once again to Morocco after scoring a hat-trick against Bayern Munich in the Champions League final, and he... was against Espanyol, he scored a hat-trick. Either way, he wanted to show his ball to Bay. The Portuguese traveled despite Florentino Perez asking him not to go to Morocco. The trips back and forth are raising questions. Is the relationship with the Moroccan boxer more than just friendship? But at least he's scoring something important somewhere. Moving to news outside Spain. Manchester City decided to end all controversy regarding Pep Guardiola's future and decided to announce him as coach for the team in the coming season. The contract will extend to 3 years as announced by the English club, and Pep will be the highest paid coach in the world. Also, it was great to see the graceful reactions by the Manchester United fans. Despite linking the coach to Manchester United, there were chants saying, "You can stick Guardiola up your arse." If that means having Pep instead of Van Gaal, I think they gladly do that. In light of this occasion, we have decided to launch a new segment called History. Okay, let's start with the history of Manchester City. And that concludes our history segment. For our last bit of news, Chelsea legend John Terry decided to leave the club after 21 years. That's 97 years in dog years. It was reported that his teammates were celebrating as they are finally able to breathe, a sign of relief, as their girlfriends and wives are finally safe from any violation, so to say. Will it be the MLS or the new Chinese big spender, Lo Tamuni? Wherever you end up, Mr. Terry, we'd like to wish you good luck, because loyalty today is very underrated. Well, that's all for the first episode of the Cule Show. We hope you liked it. Leave your comments below. Please give us feedback on YouTube and on Twitter, and tell us about stuff you would like us to talk about. I'm Chris. You can find me at every social media, mostly on Twitter and on Snapchat, under the name Chris Junk Food. Also, my co-producer Ebby is found on Twitter and on Instagram under the name Barca Snack. We also have an account for this channel, The Cule Show. It's on every social media. Just search for The Cule Show and you will find it. At last, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you like it, and Visca Barca.